All right. I'm gonna go get my laptop. Here you go.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Living Legends in Broward County. This is the first one that we'll be doing with some amazing in Broward County. And my name is Tanisha Simpkins. We'll be using the platform for a table talk here. But I'm just going to go ahead and step out of the way and let our facilitator, our host, we call him G here in Broward County. Just going to let
Hi, everyone. Welcome to, again, like Ms. Tanisha said, our Table Talk Living with Legends, the online interview where we have students in Broward County interview living legends that paved the way of the Black Lives Matter music and NAACP and that still lives here today in Broward County, Florida. I am your host and moderator for today, Garen December, but you guys can call me G. And I would like to welcome all the viewers who are watching from home, our Table Talk and our Living with Legends Table Talk. Today's interviews will compose of talking with living legends that, again, still live here in Florida, and we'll be answering questions based off young students who live here in Florida that share the same interest and have been motivated and inspired by these legends that still live here. Our first interview for the day that we're going to be getting started on is with none other than Expensive, who will be interviewing the living legend Esther Baylor. Miss Esther Baylor was an educated barrier baker who also lives here in Florida as well. She has been a very big part of Florida with the historic document River Bend and the Civics Association in Broward, the Civic Citizens Center for seniors, and also part of the Zeta Dove Foundation, Inc. Now introducing Expensive. Expensive.
Hello, everybody. My name is Expensive. I'm 16, and I would just like to say it's very nice to meet you, Miss Baylor. It's early.
Well, it's wonderful meeting you as well. Thank you.
Yeah. So to start off, what was it? What was it like to be the first Black teacher in a predominantly white environment in South Carolina?
Well, it was an interesting experience. I must say it was not a frightening one. I'm typically not afraid of people, and everybody there tried to be cordial and kind and to make sure that I was comfortable. So I was there to do a job, and that's what my goal was, and that's what I did, and that was to teach and to help train people, the students, which was a mixed student body, but primarily a white student at the time. But it was a very good experience, and we did bond very well. As I said, my job was there to teach and help train and develop the young minds of the students. So that's what I did. And of course, I did acquire some friends along the way. And a few of them I think are still around, and I have seen some of them, but they are pretty aged right now. But it was a good experience. I can't hear her now. I can't. Okay, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Okay, now I hear you. Yes. Okay.
So I said, how does it feel to work? Yes. How does it feel to work on committees with other people to help the community? And what advice do you have for people my age that want to work in seats of power in the future?
Well, I think my first advice would be is to understand your purpose for being on the committee. You know, if you have a purpose for being, you want to feel that purpose. That's the first thing. And if you need to do research, and you need to know the area on which you're going to work, and not try to do everyone else's job. If your specific area is, of course, to recruit other people for the committee, then that's your job. But of course, you're going to input to the committee. But first, understand your purpose. Why are you there? And then try to fulfill that goal. Okay, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Now, what inspired you to want to make a change as a teacher?
I'm sorry, repeat that question.
What inspired you to want to make a change as a teacher?
Well, to make a change, life is continually changing. You can't be stagnant in living, and you've got to change and move with the times. And as now, we cannot do the same thing today as we did or last week. So we need to prepare ourselves and, of course, be willing to make the change and seek ways in which we can improve our condition and, of course, those in the community and those around us to deal with the changes of life. So we must always be ready and willing, of course, to accept change because they are going to occur.
Yes, definitely. I agree. So, what do you do to stay motivated during difficult and stressful times, especially as you progress?
I keep busy. I keep busy and always doing something. And of course, I like helping people and I like helping make the difference in the lives of other people. I never get bored. I have to say, I'm not a bored person. There's always something for me to do. And I don't always stick with the same thing. It's good for me to do a variety of tasks, I guess you would call it multitasking. So I do that a lot. So it's important to keep busy and it's important to help other people as we go along the way. Okay. And it may be just a kind word, it may be a conversation. And just an example today, I think I've spoken to about 4 or 5 people, giving encouraging words to them this morning before this interview. As a matter of fact, I stopped on the way here to give an encouraging word to one of my neighbors today. So those kinds of, if you're not selfish and you're reaching out, trying to help others, then it helps to motivate you as well. It does me. Helps to motivate me as well when I feel that I'm doing something, it could be great or small, to help someone else along the way.
So, as a leader, what values do you think are important to have in order to accomplish everything you have so far achieved?
But first, you must have the desire, the willingness to accomplish something in life. You know, you don't want to do anything, you don't want to accomplish anything, you will never accomplish anything. So you must have the desire, the willingness to accomplish something. Okay, and you can have multiple goals. If you accomplish one goal, then move on to another one. Continually set goals that you can aim to reach, and you may not always reach the goals that you set for yourself, but that doesn't mean that you stop setting goals. So you continue to make goals, you continue to reach forward, trying to move forward and better your condition and to do something positive in life. You've got to want to do something that's positive for yourself as well as for others.
So I read that you went to 3 colleges, a total of 3 colleges in Florida. How was that process? How did you push and keep going? What do you have to say about college?
Well, as I said, you need to want to do, it's the desire to achieve. Yes, I did. I attended Bethune-Cookman University. It's where I did my undergraduate work. Actually, it was Bethune-Cookman College at the time. And everybody in Florida, I hope, knows about the Wildcats one way or other. And then I went on to Atlantic University to get my graduate work. And after that, I did some work at Florida International University in Miami. And of course, I drive back and forth from Fort Lauderdale to FIU down in Miami. But as I said, you must have the desire to achieve what you want to achieve. Okay, and what I was trying to accomplish, I had the desire. I can't say it was easy, but I was determined to do that. And if you want to accomplish, you must have the determination to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. Actually, undergrad school was not easy. I did a lot. It was tough for my parents. And I went away to work the summer of my junior year, at the end of my junior year, in order to get to school my senior year, in order to graduate. If I had not gone someplace to work myself, I would have had to drop out. But I was determined that I was going to finish school and get my degree. So I worked all summer, took that money and paid my first semester tuition. Didn't spend any of it. I went away to a strange place I'd never gone before. And it ended up, people were quite cordial. I lived in with the family. And after that, as I paid for my first semester of my senior year, then the second semester, I learned that there was financial aid available. So I went to the appropriate people and applied for the financial aid and got that. And that's how I got through college. I can't say it was easy, but I was determined that I was going to do what I needed to do and meet those goals that I had set for myself. I could have dropped out. It would have been the easiest thing for me to drop out and go back home, but that was not my desire. So you've got to have perseverance and determination to accomplish what your goals are in life. And nobody can do that for you but yourself. And you can't blame anybody else but yourself. So if you set your goals, have the determination to meet those goals.
Thank you so much, Ms. Baylor. Is there anything else you would like to say to the viewers for today?
No, I probably could talk on and on and on and on about life experiences, but I think you have covered quite a bit. If you have other questions that you'd like to ask me, I would be delighted to answer them for you. One other thing. I'm originally from, you asked me where I'm from and all, but I guess it doesn't matter, but I'll let you know anyway. I'm originally from the Meridian, Mississippi area. I came to Florida to go to Bethune-Cookman, and I came down on the Greyhound bus. Okay, there was nobody to drive me, didn't have any money to fly. I came on the Greyhound bus with everything that I had trunk. You guys don't use trunks anymore. I don't think you have the cars and the people drive you to college. So that's how I got here on the bus in Daytona Beach. And after I finished, I got a job in Mississippi, but I decided that, well, the salary was not good. So I caught the Greyhound bus again, came back to Daytona, worked a year at Campbell Senior High School. And then after that, I just kept persevering until I got to South Florida. I ended up with a job in Delray at Carver High School and continuing to persevere to better my condition. And I ended up in Broward County, and that's just where I am. I've been in Lauderdale since 1965. So that's a little bit about my background.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Baylor, so much for everything and anything. Thank you for paving the way for the community that we now have here. If it weren't for you, we would not be in here. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Now, going forward into our interview with Living with Legends, we have a Did You Know by one of the young students, Naila I cannot pronounce her name, I'm so sorry, Laila Indigabu. We have her doing a Did You Know about some Black Lives Matter facts and some very inspirational historical facts. Laila, take it away.
Hi, I'm Laila Ngodu, and I will be doing your Did You Know fact. Did you know Helen Morris, founder of One Broward County's first day care Black children, who was known by many as Miss Helen, Miss Morris. Miss Morris' family moved to Fort Lauderdale during the 1930s. She was born in Live Oak. For 42 years, Mrs. Morris was the owner and operator of Helen's Kindergarten. She opened the school in 1953 when she determined that Black children had no kindergarten to attend. Retired in 1984. In 1989, Mrs. Morris' work with children was honored by the Urban League during its annual Black Pioneer Award ceremony. Mrs. Morris died at Holy Cross Hospital in 1996 from complications from a stroke. She is 75. She's one of the most successful Black women in Fort Lauderdale. Dr. Susie Holly, I'm pretty sure that's how you say her name, founder of Cradle Nursery, Broward's first African-American preschool, a preacher's wife, and former publicity director of Florida Memorial College, got a neat spot to assist the neighborhood latchkey children who came to houses until their parents returned from work. Dr. Susie Holly opened Cradle Nursery in 1957 until their parents returned from work. In the second floor classroom of Piney Grove First Baptist, the nursery outgrew the classroom and church parsonage within 2 years and moved to 1301 Northwest 6th Court Pilot Club, a service club composed of executives and professional women. Donated the property, where it now raised money to build the nursery. Ex-state representative Chris Smith attended the preschool at the tender age of 3. Dr. Susie Holly is a teacher who changed the educational level of an African American children in 33311 community.
Thank you so much, Laila, for all those interesting facts. We really do truly appreciate it. Now, up next, we have Jasir going into interviewing Miss Jessie Young Adderley. Miss Adderley was a civil rights activist and a community advocate who also lives here in the state of Florida. Jasir, take it away.
Excuse me, Miss Adderley. What would you like me to address you as, Miss Young Adderley, or just Mrs. Adderley?
Miss Adderley.
Okay, Miss
Jessie.
Adderley.
Yes.
What made you choose to work for your father and not yourself or someone else?
I didn't get the question.
What made you choose to
What
work
was
for
the
your
question?
father, and not for yourself or someone else?
What made me choose to work?
What made you
I
work for your father
well,
and
growing up.
not yourself or someone else?
Well, what made me choose to work? And it's growing up in the Deep South. That's what we were raised to do: to work, go to school, get an education, and work.
Okay. What made your parents move from
I
Italy
don't.
to Fort Lauderdale at such a young age?
Oh, okay. We came to Fort Lauderdale at an early age. I was only 6 months old, and they just wanted to move further south and come out of the Deep South in Georgia. But I guess Fort Lauderdale was considered Deep South also because of the work and working conditions and the way things was back in the 40s and the 50s. You know, we were under the thumb of Jim Crow laws in those days. You know, we were colored people then, and we didn't have many opportunities. They had grown up working in the fields picking cotton, so they were told there was more work South Florida. So the people from Georgia migrated to the South Florida area for work. And as a little baby, they brought me along, and that's where I am today, 72 years later.
Okay.
But as a child, growing up with the Jim Crow laws in place, it was very difficult. Because like I said, we couldn't even go in the bathrooms. When we traveled on the bus or in cars, we had to go on the side of the building to use the bathroom because there was no colored allowed or drink out of the water fountains. So those are the traumatic things I remember from my childhood as a little girl. Again, under Jim Crow laws.
Okay. At what age did you choose to work in community service, and what made you choose to keep doing it later?
Well, growing up, after high school, I did get a job working in electronics, and before that, I had a few other jobs. We worked in like laundries after school. Those were like our part-time jobs, and that was extremely hard. So we said, well, we've got to go to school to continue to get an education so we wouldn't end up working there forever. But then we just seeing how our parents and the things that we had to go through and how we were pushed around made me want to do more in the community to help the younger generation and make things better for my granddaughter or any other grandchildren that I had or would have, young people around me. So I was constantly trying to make things better and to improve them for myself, especially after in the 60s when we saw all of the integration of the lunch counters and
the schools and the sit-ins up north, then me and my friends, we got together and we decided that's what we wanted to do too. Because our money was colored. We could go to town and spend and buy things. They took it from us, but then they didn't want anything else to do with us, or hardly wanted us in the stores.
At what age did you retire and why?
Pardon me?
At what age did
What
you
age
retire and why? Yes, ma'am.
that I retired? Is that
No.
what she said?
Yes.
Oh,
that's-
my retirement. I'm 72 now. I retired in 2018. So I worked basically all of my life.
What were some of the things that you like to do at your time around when you were a kid?
When I'm not working or now as a retiree? Could you repeat that question?
What were some of the, like when you were a kid? Like when you were a child?
Oh, when I was a kid growing up in South Florida, oh man, we had so many things that we could do. We played totally different and enjoyed ourselves, even as teenagers, different from you guys, because we didn't have a inside TV and internet. But we basically grew up outside playing and paper dolls and playhouse, roller skating on real skates, not the type you guys have, and swimming in the pool and dancing and having socks at the YMCA. And we used to go to the beach. In order for us to go to the colored beach they had when I was a kid in Fort Lauderdale, we couldn't go to A1A. We had to take a boat from Port Everglades where the cruise ships are, and we had to cross the intercoastal, and they would take us over to what is now Dr. Bondi, Mizell, and Eula Johnson Beach. Used to be Lloyd Beach. And if you didn't catch the 5 o'clock boat back, if you missed that, then you would be stuck over there in Dania at that beach. But we had one, Mr. Giles, he was one of our science teachers. He was the only Black person with a boat at that time. And he would always come back on Saturdays and Sundays to see if there was anybody left out there. And we heard stories all the time, like people was left on the beach or they had to sleep out there, towels and mosquitoes. But Mr. Giles would always go out there to rescue people. So we spent a lot of time on the colored beach on Sundays and in the movies. We used to have a movie theater right here on Fifth Avenue and 6th Street. And basically those are the things we did. And we had fish fries on Friday afternoons and went to church on Sundays. Growing up in Fort Lauderdale was really fun back then, although we were still under Jim Crow laws. So when the integration was beginning, that's when me and my friends decided that we would integrate the lunch counter at the Woolworth, the local 5 and 10. See, the 5 and 10 cent store back in the 50s was like a glorified Dollar Tree, but you could go in there with $1 and just buy a whole bunch of stuff instead of buying one item for $1. So we weren't ever allowed to, when I was really small, we couldn't even use the bathrooms then. And then, so we could never sit down and eat. We would smell the food, we would go in and shop, and they would sit down and eat. So as soon as the integration was moving further south, one weekend we decided that we were going to sit down and order a hamburger. And we were really scared, but we pushed each other up and we got there and we sat down at the counter and the lady said, "What do y'all gals want?" And one of my friends, "We want a Coke, hamburger, and some French fries." And I said, "Yeah." My other friend wouldn't say anything. So they served us and took our order, but then she didn't really come and bring it and put it in front of us. She like threw it at us. So after that, we ate it, we smiled and we giggled and we said, we're going to come back every Saturday. So when we told our parents about it, they were outraged. "Oh, you shouldn't do that. Don't go back down there. You're going to go to jail. they're going to beat you up. And then we promised them that we wouldn't go, but Saturday we would go anyway. And some days we would ask for water. They told us they water unless we ordered something. And then they
Well, hi guys. My name is Tanisha Simpkins with the Table Talk Media. So you're probably saying, like, what are you guys are doing on this Saturday? Exactly, you know, what's really going on. So what we're doing for the next few Saturdays, or the next couple months, is we're introducing some of our youth here in our community. That's part of the historic Dorsey River Bend community, which is, as we know it, as the 33311 community. And what they are doing and what they have been doing is interviewing different people in the community who are living legends. And the last couple we just had was Miss Baylor, who's here in the Broward County. Anyone who she's probably been there. And then we have Adderley, who's done a lot. I really wanted her to talk about, maybe if she get back on, the things that she's done, like what we're doing right now when it comes to voting, how she just pushed some things forward when it comes to being a voter here. Get back on, G, of being a voter here. So a lot of this stuff we're doing is trial and error. And if anybody who knows me out there, Tanisha, know that when this is over, I'm going to have a talk with these people, these young people, because these are our young people and I want to push them so further ahead. Yeah, he's laughing, guys, because we have another person who's waiting in the background now, Professor Hill. So whoever's ready for Professor Hill, make sure that they're on. So, these are the people who we are looking to push these young people to go to legislative, to visit us in Tallahassee, to be our leaders here in the future. I know that they are extremely nervous. I can tell you that. I'm going to tell you a story while the person is getting ready to interview Professor Hill. I know that in the moment of us and we're getting ready, they were confident. It was ridiculous, just so confident, and they still are confident, and they are doing an excellent job, quite an excellent job. And I want you guys to make sure that you're out there, that you're giving them some type of recognition of comments that they're doing a great job. Let them know how they're doing, support our young people here in the 33311 zip code, which is the historic Dorsey River Bend zip code. We're trying to do some amazing things where we put our young people out there, some of our, as we would say, our leaders. And one of our leaders right here is, and I'm just saying G, y'all, because I'm bad with names. Give us your name again. Jerry.
My name is Garen, and I just want to say again, thank you, Miss Tanisha, so much, because you are completely right. I am, within this whole interview, I've been scared out of my life. It's been very shaky, just a little, the little dots in the background. It's just been a lot, but again, it's all for the community to inspire the viewers, and I really do appreciate what you've done, not only for me, but all for the interviewers and everyone who's been playing a part in this, and I truly am excited to be here. Along with that, I do truly appreciate for what these people have done, not only for me, but for the community, because they paved the way in order to make a person like me with my skin color very, very alive in the community, knowing the history and the historical detail with everything that has happened. It's just so inspiring, and mainly why I'm so excited to see these interviews happen. So again, thank you so much, Ms. Tanisha.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it to you, because we do have Professor Hill who's there, and I know one of the other young ladies, Cora, will be joining you. Go ahead and take it away.
All right, so now up next, and finally, we have not only the one and only Professor Hill. Hi, Professor Hill. How you doing?
That makes my day as an old man. My pleasure. How are you guys coming along?
I'm good. We're here with Cora, who's going to be asking you questions on your experience on taking place in one of the biggest impacts in the community. So, Cora, without further ado, go ahead.
Hi, Cora.
Hi.
Oh, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good, good. Yeah, I spoke with.
Um,
Go ahead on, go on.
I'm sorry. Can you please
I,
repeat?
I was just going to say, I was going to preface my talk with you to tell
Hmm.
the people that I'm very honored. I feel very honored to have been selected here as a pioneer in the Dorsey River area. My family, who has settled here into the early 40s. And I'm just so happy that you guys thought enough of my family and of me to want me to, I guess, involve myself with this forum or the other talk. And I feel very honored. That's what I wanted to say.
That's great. Um, so, as you referenced our conversation, I'm going to ask you a few questions. And first question being, I understand that you are a funeral director, correct?
That's right. Hmm.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, what motivated you to pursue this profession?
Okay, am I to see you as well, or only just be myself as we
Uh,
talk?
my my camera's on. I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Can you see me now?
No, I can't. I just see myself in the lower left corner and up in the middle top corner, meaning the middle part, middle section. But I don't see you at all.
Okay.
Okay. Well, is there something where maybe, hold on one second.
Mhm.
Because I can see you and I can also see myself, so I'm not sure what
Mhm.
is happening.
Okay, well, we'll go on. I just thought it would be nice if I could communicate, you know, visually here with you
Hello.
as I talk, with, whatever. So you were asking me what motivated me to become a funeral director. Is that the question?
Yes, yes, it is.
All right. Well, I want to be modest here. I don't want to brag or do much here on myself, but and blow my own horn. It's not a, it's not a way or feeling of being cocky, but it's just a feeling of being confident when I do these kinds of things because I'm an humble person and I always have been humble, and that's what I profess to do. And on that accord, God has blessed me and has been so wonderful to me and to my family. So one of the hats that I wear is a license. I am a licensed funeral director and a licensed embalmer. My family initiated this business before I was born here in Fort Lauderdale, and our family home here off of Northwest 11th Avenue near Walker Elementary School is still part of our heritage here. I was born in this house 74 years ago in the back room. So this area, not to get off of the subject, but this area means a lot to me, Dorsey River Bend. And I have seen this uh, association in this area, grow so beautifully. And of course, we have still a lot more to do here, a lot more. But I've seen a lot of growth, and I think the growth has been, for the best. But so my family started this funeral home business in the late 40s, and I somewhat became attracted to it, but didn't really know if I wanted to pursue this or not. Of course, I was very young. So, we sold all of our funeral homes. We had about 3 or 4 funeral homes throughout South Florida and Miami, different West Palm Beach. But anyway, um, and I decided later to pick up the profession because I love helping people. And I feel that one of my uh, fortes here spiritually, I have a few, but one of my spiritual fortes here is to help people and to give and to serve. And that's how I was created. And I love doing that. So I saw this profession as being one that when people are at their lowest ebb in their life, I don't know of any other time when someone will be any lower than having losing a loved one. As a matter of fact, my mom passed 10 years ago, and we had a beautiful service here at our home. Our family tradition is to have the service somewhat here and also the casket here as well. She was brought into our home here. I'm seeing a little bat. Let me go and get to my charger. Otherwise, we're going to be disconnected. As a matter of fact, I'm just coming off of a funeral now, and I have another one going on shortly. But let me charge my phone up here. Here we go. So I just decided to pursue and start this thing back up, and haven't really done a lot of advertising. Um, I do most of my business just by people and by word of mouth. um, um, I had once thought I would construct a funeral home there up on the corner of Northwest 7th Avenue and 4th, which is a nice piece of real estate that we still own. But I decided not to do that due to the changing and the funeral industry, and I won't get into that. But I was really stimulated. I was pushed in a nice way with my family having been involved with the funeral service. And I really enjoy making someone happy at the lowest time in their life. And also, too, it's a good feeling to uh, to have a family see a loved one that has passed on, and you're able to construct and make them look really beautiful and really nice, and a nice little smile on their face. And, it's a great feeling when they see that, because this is the last time that you, or they will rather, will see this loved one anymore. So I enjoy with the creative hands that God has given me and the gift that I've discovered that I have to be able to construct in times of trauma and all sorts of real morbid situations. I won't go into all of that because that's a little, I think, a bit much. But I do a lot of reconstructive mortuary work. And in other words, I guess you could say that I'm a plastic surgeon for dead folk, if you will. I don't know if you've ever heard of that like that. And, they can't talk to me and tell me what they want to do, but I enjoy making them look good, because this is going to be a memory picture that I'm going to create, that when this family sees this loved one, they're going to remember this loved one as looking very pretty, joyful, as if they're just ready and just on their way and have just motivated to go and to serve, God, and to go to heaven. And that makes me feel very good. And I get a very good feeling from that, both spiritually and mentally. Are you
That
there?
is amazing. Yes, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah,
My My second question is, I understand that you are a professor and you were in education.
Yes, I was. As a matter of fact, I attended Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee, after I graduated from Bethune-Cookman University in 1969. I went to Howard University for my first 2 years.
Mhm.
Then I came to Bethune and I graduated from there. Uh, I had once thought and also too, I did matriculate at Meharry Medical College in Nashville, which is one of the few black medical colleges in the United States. Dr. Mizell, Dr. Sistrunk, um, I think Dr. Shirley went to Howard, but Dr. Hamilton, Dr. Morris, these were our black physicians here, all attended Meharry Medical School in Nashville. And also, I attended it as well. I passed part of my boards and I was almost ready to graduate, but I didn't because I began to start looking and getting into the mortuary field. And I just seemed to have liked that better than I did, becoming a physician. But along with that, I still kind of pursued as a hobby, as a professorship, teaching, and here again, giving and serving young people, educating our young people, particularly our people of color. Not to be prejudiced, but I enjoy teaching at the different colleges, educating our future nurses, our future doctors and pharmacists and people in the medical arena. I taught at Palm Beach Community College, which I've got quite a bit of accolades there as a professor. I taught at Broward Community College, the North Campus in Pompano. I taught at the BCC campus in Davie as well. And also, I'm an adjunct currently at Florida International University in Miami and the College of Public Health. I lecture in the course that's labeled Environmental Toxicology. It's a course that deals with our environment and also with the biochemistry of our human body. So there have been many young people that I have seen in the hospitals when I go there um, that I've educated, and they have just made me feel so good and so worthy when they have said, "Oh, Professor Hill, Dr. Hill, whatever, you know, you you were just so good. I enjoyed your class. You kept it so interesting, and if it weren't for you, I don't know if I would be where I am today." And I said, "Wait a minute, stop that. You would still be where you are today. You did it all yourself. You put your trust in God and all of the skills He gave you, and I just was a vehicle to help you do that. But all of you all were very good students. You were very industrious, and applicable, and I said, so all of you did it yourself, and I'm very proud of you." And so, um, a little quick story: my mom, before she died 10 years ago, she was at Broward General in the ICU, and I walked into the ICU for the first time. I used to do a little rotations of a little bit of medicine at Broward General emergency room when I was in medical school. But as I said, I moved away from that because I just felt that I could do more and be more productive helping people, as I've said earlier, during the worst time of their life. And um, when I went into this ICU room, I saw this nurse there, and she says, they they refer to me as Dr. Hill, Professor Hill, whatever. Doctor means teacher. That's the Webster's definition. So one that teaches, particularly in the academic field, can be labeled as doctors, not so much a medical doctor, but you are a doctor. So doctor means teacher. But anyway, they were there, and they knew I had a medical background, so they, referred to me as Dr. Hill, Professor Hill, whatever. And they said, "Wait a minute, you're Dr. Hill." I said, "Yes." I said, "This is my mother lying here." She said, "What?" Oh my God. And she told my mother, oh, Mrs. Hill, I'm just so proud. Your son, he was just so good. And I'm just so happy we had him. He taught me so much. And I'm just the nurse that I am today. And it just put chills on me. And it just really did really great things for me. And my mom was very proud. And as a matter of fact, she got a little teary when the lady said that. So it made me feel good. So I have done a lot of educating and I still enjoy that. And also, quickly, I was a professor at Miami-Dade College, the North Campus, in the School of Mortuary Science. I was a professor there, and I've taught quite a few people that I've seen. I've taught some of the Boyd family people, and I've taught quite a few people throughout the state that attended the college, and they are now licensed funeral directors and very, very productive, morticians. So that's what I have to say about that.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, but I enjoyed speaking with you, and I enjoyed our little conversation that we had. I'm so sorry that you couldn't see me, but
I wish I could, but you see me pretty well, huh? Pretty clearly, can you?
yes, I do.
Okay, well that's good. It's always nice to eyeball an individual that with whom you're speaking. I always like to do that because it brings the conversation closer together. But I'm so sorry you're not able to see me. But anyway, you have a good day and God bless all of you. And thanks to Dr. Pamela Pittman and Miss Sharon, of whom I know she works at the Y. I met her at the African American Library at one time there. So tell all of those people thanks for keying me in here on this forum with you guys. And I'm very, very happy you thought enough for me to do that. So may God bless all of you. Thank you.
I will. Thank you.
All righty. Goodbye.
All right. Well, thank you, Cora, so much. That was very good. Thank you so much. All right. Well, as for everybody watching from home, we have came to the end of our interview. I want to again thank everyone for watching and viewing into this live session of Living with Legends. I also want to thank Miss Tanisha for putting this together for not only me but all the students that interviewed the legends. We also want to thank Miss Sharon for bringing us here together and being the sponsor, as she does work at the YMCA, having her put us together, bringing individuals and youth to help us do this Living with Legends. We thank you so much for viewing and tuning in. We hope you enjoyed. We also want to thank Miss Pamela Pittman, for also participating and sponsoring this as well. And again, we want to say thank you, and we hope you enjoyed this live session of Living with Legends. We'll see you soon. Stay blessed.